Yeah, so I was gonna say one quick thing about floods that was happening in certain states like the Midwest. So more so Nebraska and Iowa, but there's been a little bit of flooding going on in Missouri. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if you look at some of those states are the top producers for certain livestock and crops. Like if you look at Iowa leads the nation for pork and beef production as well as corn and soybean production. So you just might want to look at, like, if it's a certain state that was affected, you might want to look at what that state is known for producing, because some of those states they actually produce a lot of crops and everything. So that's a food source. And if your major food source is hit, not saying that other states don't produce, but they might not be producing as much. Yeah, I wanted to speak on the rabbit situation right quick. Just, I don't know, I just thought it was weird because it was like one of those cases you don't really talk about. Like, you'll see the headline for it and they never update. I just thought it was weird because, they never specified what genes they were putting into this. So it was a transgenic animal. I don't really know if it was a good gene or was it supposed to have like some type of negative effect, but it never specified if it was like a wild or a domestic rabbit. So it just makes you wonder like what they were doing, and the fact that it's like you spend all that money and time and you lost the fucking rabbit. Like, how the fuck do you lose that mutated rabbit or some shit like that? But they never updated that situation, so it kind of reminds me of like the Libya situation. People went and they did their little documentaries and nobody said nothing else about it. And it also reminds me of how back in October they reported China trying to make like an artificial moon, and they said nothing else about it. They just made the headlines and just that was it. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think.
Well, Steve and Dina, the Real ID program doesn't officially kick in until October of 2020, but it is already available, so the push is on now to make sure Illinois residents are prepared, especially those who travel by air or need to get into federal buildings like this one.
This is a standard driver's license. And this is the Real ID. That's the one with the star up in the left-hand corner.
Secretary of State Jesse White says the star will be the telltale sign Homeland Security will be looking for as of October of next year. Without it, air travelers will need to show their passports even on domestic flights. People can make the switch when renewing their driver's licenses or take the initiative now by visiting a driver's services facility or researching at realid.ilsos.gov. The cost for a regular license and Real ID version is the same, but Real ID takes longer and requires additional documentation. Secretary White says people will need to decide whether they'll need Real ID.
It's up to them. If they want the new card, then they have to do all that is required. A lot of times people can use their passport and never ever have to come into the Secretary of State's office to get this documentation with the star on it.
Now, public awareness campaigns will be ramping up in the months ahead, but compliance issues are likely come October 2020. Technically, anyone without a Real ID or a passport would not be allowed to board any commercial flights.